Hello, hello. The name is Regis Gilbin, and the game, of course, is Heroes of the Storm. And today, I'm going to be proposing a talent build for the brand new hero, Lieutenant Morales. I'm calling this the Restoration Lieutenant Morales build because it's all about keeping your teammates alive and mitigating as much damage as is possible. And I think this is probably the best build and character in the game for keeping a single person alive. In other words, you can output the most healing per second and damage mitigation of any support character in the entire game with this build. So it works really well if you have one really crazy heavy hitter like Illidan or maybe Butcher or a bruiser like Sonya or Arthas who can just get into the enemy team and soak up damage and generally cause chaos while you keep him alive as best as is humanly possible within Heroes of the Storm. So this is not necessarily the best build for keeping a whole team alive, although it's not too bad at that either. It's really more about maximizing the potential to keep one person alive, just someone who can totally carry the team in team fights. So that means you're sacrificing team support a little, and you're definitely sacrificing the survivability of Lieutenant Morales. So you have to play this build perfectly as far as positioning and safety are concerned, because you really don't have the health pool and flexibility to really mess up or be in the wrong place or pick the wrong fights. So it's best played with a teammate who you're comfortable with and you understand their playstyle, and a team who understands the goal in a composition that supports this build. But the Restoration Lieutenant Morales build will absolutely keep anyone alive through almost anything. So, without further delay, let's go ahead and take a look at our talents. Up first at level 1, we're going to be looking at Prolonged Safeguard. This increases your safeguard duration by 1 second. Safeguard, of course, is your W. It reduces all damage a character takes by 25%, and instead of lasting 3 seconds, it's going to last 4 seconds for us. So a 25% damage mitigation is nothing to scoff at, and the fact that it lasts a little bit longer just gives you more uptime for this ability, essentially. And in longer team fights where you want an Illidan or a Sonya to go crazy, giving them an extra second of safety is always nice. At level 4, we're going to go with Bio Shield. If your target is at full health, they gain a shield that absorbs 170 damage, stacking up to 5 times. So that is an interesting graphical glitch, but come here, Malf. We want to test out our shield on you. So as you can see, we're giving Malf a nice little shield here. At level 20, it's going to be worth about 850 total damage mitigation. So this is fantastic when you're setting up an initiation for, that aforementioned Illidan or Sonya. When they're about to jump into a team fight, you can give them a little extra health to work with, little more survivability. This also works if if they start at half health and you heal them back up to full, which is quite possible with Healing Beam because it's so good. That they'll start to gain that shield back. So if your healing is able to keep up with the damage that character is taking, you can just kind of keep regenerating the shield over and over for a while, which again makes them almost unkillable. At level 7, we're going to go with Cleanse. The worst thing you want is for your Super Illidan or your Sonya to get polymorphed or stunned or locked down in any way when you've set up this great engagement for them to go nuts. So Cleanse can help you clear those off and prevent that, essentially. So they're able to go top speed for as long as possible with as few delays as possible. The other talents in this tier don't really accomplish much in supporting that. Irradiate can be good if you want to pump even more damage into that soul person that you've picked as your initiator, but I think Cleanse just offers too much to pass up. At level 10, we're going to go with Medevac Dropship. I know it seems counterintuitive if we're trying to support an Illidan or a Sonya to pass up on Stim Drone, because they could just go even more insane, but this is a team game and there are 4 other people, or 3 other people I guess in this case, that you need to support still, and Medevac Dropship is just too good to pass up. The map presence it offers and the the advantages it gives you in challenging objectives, and it just does too many things too well to sacrifice, even though Stim Drone kind of supports that purpose. This is the restoration Lieutenant Morales. It's not the go out and kill everybody Lieutenant Morales. So we want to keep people alive, we want them to be in the right place, and we want to be there for fights. So Medevac Dropship is still going to be the superior heroic, even in this build that's intended to support one person really well. Up next is Intensive Care. Healing Beams. Healing is increased by 25% if it's been on the same target for at least 3 seconds. So the longer you stay on one person, the better your heal is going to get. And that just works to keep them alive for a very, very long time. Preventative Care can actually be pretty good in this type of build because it does give your Sonya or Illidan or whoever else, a little bit more survivability. And if people try to focus them down, they're going to have their attack speed slowed and their damage is going to be reduced in general. But it's only basic attacks, right? So ability damage is still going to hit them just as hard, and I think Intensive Care offers you a little bit more flexibility and still helps you heal someone back to full even if they're no longer the focus of the damage. So it has some side benefits for the rest of your team, and again just allows you to output the maximum amount of healing per second that's possible in the game, frankly. There's no better healing than Healing Beam fully talented like this. It's just totally nuts. It can heal anybody up through almost anything, so it's pretty fun to watch this in action. Up next is Inoculation. This increases Safeguard's initial damage reduction to 50% for the first 1.5 seconds. So that's it's a 4-second talented ability right now. The first 1.5 seconds are going to be twice as strong, which is just nuts. A 50% overall damage reduction is crazy good, and when this build is all set up to support strong initiations and dives and hard engages that keep somebody alive, Inoculation is going to be perfect for that. You can help them survive through pretty much any amount of burst while healing through it. So it's great for when you have one person you really need to keep alive. Shield Sequencer is going to be the stronger talent if you want to keep multiple people alive, and it's certainly not a bad talent by any means. It kind of does the same thing and gives you more flexibility, but if you want to focus on supporting one person as much as possible and healing them and mitigating as much damage as you can, Inoculation is the strongest talent there. And then finally, we're going to go with Medbay. This allows your medevac to heal anyone that gets inside of it, so this is pretty neat if you've kind of been engaged and your team is weak and you got a bunch of low health and you still need to go get to a tribute to engage. This allows you to do that. You can even use it just outside or behind a team fight in a way and heal everybody back up for kind of a second re-engage or a counter engage. It just allows you to do more healing for more people in more ways. Since your Q is a single target heal, it can be hard to get multiple people back up quickly, and this allows you to do that while still giving you that movement advantage and map presence. So if you want to have the highest healing numbers possible as Lieutenant Morales, Medbay is going to accomplish that for you. So to go over that build one more time, that's Prolonged Safeguard, Bioshield, Cleanse, Medevac Dropship, Intensive Care, Inoculation, and Medbay. There is no better way to heal in the game than this currently. Again, this build sacrifices a lot of survivability and flexibility and a lot of crowd control, but it does make you the ultimate healer in the game. So if you want max heals, this is the way to go. You do have to play perfectly. You have to be totally aware of your space and the enemy team, and there's very little room for error, but you can do some crazy stuff if you have a really strong bruiser or hard engage character that you can support with this build. So the potential to absolutely destroy games with something like an Illidan or a Sonya or an Arthas or a Butcher is there, and if you have a good team and work with somebody, a partner that knows how to play this build well, you will win games on the back of the Restoration Lieutenant Morales build. Hope you have fun playing this one, and I'll see you on the Nexus soon. Until next time, game on.